What's happening, everybody? Long time no see. In my earlier videos, I talked a lot about how life is like a game, right? A lot of people who are reclusive or whatever, and they get really into gaming, they're often neglecting the most important game of all, which is the game of your own life. You see, the reason that video games are so compelling is that they often reflect the reward systems put into place naturally by life. You get out there, you test yourself, you see where you fall apart, you see where you come up short, and then you work to level up and you improve on those areas, right? But what happens to introverts, to nerds, whatever you want to say, is that they almost fully log off from the game of life, and they put all their time into these artificial, fake realities. And all of a sudden, before you know it, you have a level 100 warlock or whatever you do in World of Warcraft. But when you finally pull yourself out of the game, away from the prawn, out of the fantasy novels, whatever it is, it's like that scene in The Matrix where they come out of the pods and they're just like flabby and skinny and they're like fat, pale, skinny, fat, whatever. And just the feeling of unplugging from the system is so abrasive that it's shocking their bodies so hard they're like literally like shaking, right? This is what it's like for a lot of people, because the truth is, in life, just like that level 1 character in Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you're simply just a scrub. And what happens at this point is that there's almost two different reactions by two different types of people. The first is the weak person. He looks up for a second and he sees what's going on around him and he says, fuck that, it's going to be too hard, it's going to be too scary. I'm already good at being a loner, I'm already good at being a reclusive gamer, and you know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me so much. And that's key, right? And that's just what I am. So, let's just stay here and let's just kind of submit to this life of being not really 100% what I'd really like to be, but you know what? I'm pacified by all these little trinkets that life offers. So we're just going to make the decision to stay here, right? That's what one type of person does. That's what a weak person does. But the second type of person is the person who looks up and they see the guy, he's driving by in the cool car, he's got the hot girl, whatever, and he thinks to themselves, this is bullshit. I want that. There's something that I want that's out there that other people are getting, other people are living or experiencing that I'm not getting. And why I'm making this video after a long time away, thinking I might not even touch this channel again, to be honest, is to say that, I think the first step to changing all this is to simply and honestly admit to yourself that you are a scrub. You might be level 100 in World of Warcraft, you might be level 100 in Elden Ring, but really, truly, where are you in real life? And just like in the virtual world, there's metrics in real life that you can look by. There's these stats that you can gauge. And I think you should simply ask yourself openly and honestly, like, what do I really have going for me right now? Like, truly be honest. And we could just get into it a little bit, right? Like, it's going to sound weird, but we just have to be honest, right? Can you intimidate anyone like you can in Elden Ring, right? Like when you roll in and you just like smash people in one hit. In real life, though, can you intimidate anyone, a single person? When you walk into a room, do you have that like strong presence that signals to others that you're not one to be messed with, right? Have you put on like size in the gym? Have you learned to fight? Could you confidently handle yourself against like 90% of the people you come across, right? Or could just like the average high school wrestler destroy you and humiliate you? Do you have more of a purpose-driven life than most of the people that you're coming across? Or are you just kind of like a leaf blowing around in the wind, just getting these little dopamine hits here and there from video games or endlessly scrolling, just letting the time sort of tick by? Like, how about your money, right? That's a huge stat in this game of life. is your money. And people want to act like money doesn't matter, but it's bullshit. You really don't need to be a multi-billionaire, but do you have enough to give you freedom? That's really the most important thing, right? Because that's truly what money is all about. It's a stored energy that allows you to do what you want when you want. In this life, it happens to be, money. It happens to be green dollars or numbers or whatever. But it doesn't really matter. It's not about the currency. It's about the freedom. If somehow hoarding clamshells was going to translate to giving you a means to freedom, then you'd be a fool not to hoard the clamshells. But yet, somehow, we see clearly in this reality that becoming financially stable, or financially strong, you could even say, is important, but a lot of people aren't doing it. This whole notion that money doesn't matter, it's pushed on us by probably people who are already in a very good financial position. And people buy into this, right? Because sometimes making money is challenging, starting businesses is challenging, endeavoring to bring yourself up to a better financial place is challenging, right? And it's just like everything in this fake world, man. It's like, yeah, money doesn't matter. Money doesn't matter. So, well, isn't that convenient, right? Isn't that convenient? Money doesn't matter. So I guess you can just be lazy. Just go back to playing the video games, bro. Money doesn't matter. So how great is that? That's so convenient. I don't have to actually do anything uncomfortable. I can just go back to wasting my time, doing the things that I'm used to doing the things that don't get me anywhere. And then all of a sudden, years roll by, and people who care about that stuff have 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times the amount of freedom you do because they are financially stable and you bought into the lie that money doesn't matter, and now you're working at like a Hardee's somewhere at like 40 years old, completely beholden to your Karen boss or whatever, some overweight woman that is gonna boss you around, that you have to try to act nice around when you don't even really honestly give a shit about her. You actually think she's just a disgusting person, but you have to be this little wage cuck, this little Hardee's cuck, this little fast food cuck, pretending to be nice to everybody that you don't really care about at all. Like, what does that do to your psyche over time? It can't be good, right? So maybe you should care a little bit about money. Might be kind of important in this life. Have you noticed, actually, while I'm on this rant, has anybody noticed how often we interface with money? You wake up, you go to the store, there's numbers everywhere. Everything is numbered. Your Twizzlers are numbered, all the way to the fucking Bugatti is numbered. It's all numbers everywhere. You wake up, you check your bank account, the number is low, you get stressed. It's super important. How's your fashion? Do you look nice? Do you look like you try, or are you just wearing clothes that your aunt bought you from 3 years ago, right? That's just not what the winners do. The winners care about how they look. They care about it down to the fine details. These girls on Instagram that you think are so hot, or even the guys, whatever, they're not posting these awesome, sexy pictures by accident. It's like a lot of work has gone into it, figuring out what style suits them, what fits them well, what angles, what is really impressive to people. None of this stuff happens by accident, guys. How's your social life? Do you have a big network of people who know and respect you, or do you just kind of hang out with the same 5 other losers on the same level as yourself, and nobody really knows who you are outside of that group, right? Leveling up in these areas, when you play the game of life, it happens naturally to a degree, because that's all you can do. That's all you have to put your energy into. Just like when you play Dark Souls, even without a real plan, you naturally are going to get stronger and more capable and move towards a higher level, even if you're not like an expert Dark Souls player, right? This is why a lot of you guys, you're looking around and you're seeing so many other people out there who seem to be at a higher level than you. They're simply playing the game of life, interacting with life, waking up, engaging with life, instead of wasting their time on all this other stuff. And at the same time, you're just kind of like holed up alone somewhere, and you're putting hours and hours into something that gets you really no return. You're not stronger than anyone. You're not richer than anyone. You're not more attractive than anyone, right? You are a level 1 scrub. And this is why you're feeling inadequate. This is why you're depressed and anxious, right? They're not feelings that come from nowhere because you're a special snowflake that needs a safe space and you need medication, right? It's the signals life is giving you, and probably has been giving you for a long time, that you need to make some major changes. But we've become numb so much to these feelings and these signals that we've lost our ability to listen to them, right? In the past, there would be nothing else to do when you feel inadequate besides immediately beginning to improve your life and address these issues. But now it's so easy to retreat back into the cheap distractions of the modern world, back to the games to make you feel that sense of adventure, back to the naughty videos to make you feel some sort of synthetic, perverted version of love, right? Back to social media to live vicariously through all the other successful people that you follow, right? Oh, LeBron, he's my GOAT. He's making millions and billions of dollars, living his dream life, and I'm just like a little follower. Yeah, LeBron is so fucking lame, bro. I could go on and on, but the truth is, you're not happy because you're level 1, and you shouldn't be happy. It would be a betrayal of your own biology to allow you happiness in such a weak state. It would be like a parent rewarding an insubordinate child for not doing what they're told, right? Reality is simply punishing you for being a scrub. And that's how it has to be. So you should start leveling up. Leveling up in as many of these areas as you can. And the good news is you probably have the capacity to do it and the capacity to start now. If you're smart enough to be seeking out videos like this, if you're watching this video still all the way to this point, you might have actually a little bit of an attention span. You're probably more intelligent than average. You just don't know how to wield it yet. So figure out where you want to start and start now. Just kind of like how you make a character in these video games, you kind of have a strengths that you're going to play to, right? We each have our gifts. Some of you might be more physically capable. Some might be more socially capable. Some might be more financially ambitious, or you just understand that stuff better. I say that you just start somewhere. Pick a stat that's going to be the most interesting to you and begin to level up. Start with what's right in front of you. If it's a business idea you have, you want to start power washing, you want to try to make some money, but you just kind of haven't done it for some reason, and you got a power washer already, and you have an uncle that has a power washing business and he could help you start, just like get started. If you're like dying to learn to fight and that's something that interests you and you're like a physical kind of person, just start there, man. Find the nearest MMA gym, find the nearest boxing gym, jiu-jitsu place. Just start there. It's going to be better than sitting around doing nothing. You're going to get out there. You're going to learn skills. You're going to start meeting people. And once you get a handle on, one thing, you can start to branch out and you can start to address the rest. So that's going to be it, guys. Just simply get up and start. And that's really all that I have to say right now. It's nice to be back, and I really think as time goes forward, I think as things go forward with these videos, I'm really not going to be focusing so much on the editing and the fancy stuff. I really kind of hate that part, to be honest. I just want to explore my thoughts and communicate to you guys. So you might see a little bit of a lower production value, but I want to give you guys a little more content. So I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.